Hello there. Good afternoon, everybody. Man, I know some of y'all jokers say, man, he say the same thing every time he open up. Yep. Consistency is key to everything in my life. You got to be consistent. Consistent activity, consistent positive attitude, consistent treating people right, consistently pushing people up. That's what it's all about. Consistency. The consistency. That's my big C. A lot of people's big C may be something else, you know what I mean? But my big C is being consistent. So that's really the key to long-term happiness and long-term success is being consistent. Being consistent with everything that you do, right? Everything is positive that you do anyway. So that's my big C. My big C is not cancer. My big C is being consistent. Consistency is really the key. But I want to welcome you to my Live at 5. I'm here in Lanham, Maryland. It's been a cloudy day here in the state of Maryland, but it's still a good day. Every day you above ground is a good day. It's really up to you to decide how you want to use this day. We only have this day one time, and we need to make the best of it. We got 24 hours a day. We got 24 hours a day tomorrow, hopefully. But the only thing that matters is really what's going on right now. Right? Forget about tomorrow. Forget about the first quarter, what you did good, what you didn't do good. That's history now. Your body does not live in the past, so why should your mind? Forget about yesterday. Only thing that really matters is what you're going to do today. So I'm going to wait a few minutes and we're going to get this show on the road. I got some good stuff for you today. I promise you it's going to help somebody. I promise you. All I need is about 4 people on and I'm going to get this party started. April has been dubbed as Financial Literacy Month. And you probably saw my post on Facebook that said, as of today, after today, I'm going to be no longer calling it Financial Literacy Month. The reason why is because the word literacy in our communities, I was on a call Friday with the members of the BUILD community. BUILD stands for Blacks Uplifted in Leadership Development, with part of our National Life Group team. And we just started talking about the word literacy, what that really means in our communities. So if a person is not financial literate or anything they're not literate in, that means they're illiterate, which is really a negative, a negative vibe. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say financial literacy anymore because nobody wants to be considered illiterate at anything, right? Especially as it relates to finances. So I'm going to say either financial independence or financial empowerment, but everything except for the word literacy. So that's why I'm not going to be using that term Financial Literacy Month. It's Financial Independence Month. It's Financial Empowerment Month. People want to be empowered. They don't want to be labeled either I'm literate or illiterate. All right, so that's my take on that. But anyway, my topic for today is the 7 tips to financial independence. Right, 7 tips to financial independence. And I just want to share some of the things that I've learned over the years, the do's and don'ts. Number 1, to become financially independent, you got to start early. Right? You got to be consistent starting early. There's that word consistent again. You got to start early. Right? I mean, saving almost $300 a month at a return of 6 to 8% will give you $1 million. The key is starting early. Let me give you a good analogy of that. If you start early, let's say you're in your 20s, and I'm going to use 3 objects. If you start early and you start saving money early, it becomes like a marble in your pocket. And if you stuck a marble in your pocket, after a while, you forget it's even there, right? But the reality of it is a lot of people wait until they get in their early 40s. By this time, you may have bought a house, you had a few children, and now you want to start saving and planning. And that's just like trying to stick a baseball in your pocket. Now, it might fit. But just imagine a baseball in your pocket. It might fit, but it's going to be uncomfortable, right? And then, unfortunately, there are people that wait until their late 50s and 60s, and they're really starting to try to save money now. And that's just like trying to stick a beach ball in your pocket. It just doesn't fit. So it makes more sense to start when you're young, when it's the size of a marble. After a while, you even forget it's there. All right, I'll give that one to you free today. So the second point I want to make is pay yourself first, right? Before you pay BGE, Verizon, your card note, whoever, you go to work for your money, right? So you should be at the front of the line, right? You give your 10%, and then that next person should be you, right? Because Verizon, BGE, Nissan, Mercedes, Lexus, none of them are going to send you a check when you get old. So you got to put yourself at the head of that line, right? None of them are going to take care of you. Only you can take care of you. That's point number 2. Point number 1 is start early. Point number 2 is pay yourself first, right? You work for the money. You pay yourself first. Number 3, avoid irresponsible spending, right? I know people that get depressed and then they go and spend all this money trying to please themselves. It doesn't work. Avoid unnecessary spending, irresponsible spending, buying things that you know you can't afford, right? You know what I mean? So we really got to stop doing that. That has crippled our communities. We got to start teaching our children the importance of saving early. Now I'm preaching to the choir, right? You know, so think about that. Avoid irresponsible spending, right? Number 4 is think outside the box as it relates to your money. Just because everybody else is overfunding their 401k or whatever tax qualified plan at work they have, that don't mean you should do it. That don't mean it's the right thing to do. Just because everybody else is doing it. You know, there is one good thing about a tax qualified plan at work, because if it wasn't for that, most people wouldn't save at all. But just because a person says I have $1.5 million in my 401k, the reality of it is they don't, because we all know that money has not been taxed yet. So we got to start thinking outside the box. Just because everybody else is doing it, that don't mean it's the right thing to do. You're intelligent. Think about what makes sense. Am I going to keep pouring my money into a bucket that I know I have to share with Uncle Sam, or else I'm going to do something else, pour my money in a bucket that I don't have to share with Uncle Sam? Which one makes sense? So sometimes you got to go against the grain. Think outside the box. So number 1 was start saving early. Number 2 is pay yourself first. Number 3 is avoid irresponsible spending. Number 4 is thinking outside the box. Don't do what everybody else is doing just because it's the popular thing to do, right? Number 5, it's not what you don't know that will hurt you. It's what you know that isn't true, right? If what you thought to be true about life insurance turns out to be untrue, how soon would you want to find out? If what you thought to be true about tax qualified plans at work that you find out is not true, how soon do you want to find out, right? Don't believe everything you think, right? I hear it all the time. Well, Anthony, I'm going to be good because I'm not going to touch my tax qualified plan at work until I'm over 59 and a half. I don't care if you're 99 and a half. You still got to share that money with Uncle Sam, right? So it's not what you don't know that will hurt you. It's what you do know that isn't true that will hurt you, right? So think about that for a minute. The other thing is this. I hear this all the time. I hear people talking about their assets and all that. They increase their assets by that much. But here's what I know, right? A 50% increase in your assets may not change your life. It really may not. But I tell you one thing that will change your life. A 50% increase in your income will dramatically change your life, right? Remember this. Income is the outcome that matters most. It's not how much money we accumulate. It's when we turn it on for income, how long will that money last? Will that money last as long as we do? Right? I was doing a presentation with someone the other day that said, well, this is all I got. I said, yeah, this is all you got. That's if you want a lifetime of income. Now, if you want a whole lot of money now, then you are putting yourself in jeopardy of running out of money. Remember, we got one chance to get this money thing right. You can't go back to work 30 years and say, I'm going to do it all over again. So you got to get it right the first time. And I'm a firm believer that not losing, there's more opportunity in not losing money than to always try to guess and pick the winner. Because you're not going to pick the winner all the time. You're going to lose. And losing money does not have to be a part of the formula. It really does not. Warren Buffett doesn't lose money. Not saying that he's never lost, but he doesn't lose money anymore. And that's the same way you and I should be. Quit losing money unnecessarily and unknowingly. You know, so think about that for a minute. So let's wrap it up again. Number 1, start saving early. Number 2, pay yourself first. Number 3, avoid irresponsible and unnecessary spending. Number 5 is start thinking outside the box. Just because everybody else is doing it that way, that don't mean it's right, right? And number 6 Because just remember, an 50% increase in your assets it may not change your life, but if you get a 50% increase in your income and you handle that stuff right, that can change your life dramatically. I promise you it can. So number 7, right? This is probably a big one for a lot of people. And I'm not trying to be mean, but sometimes, y'all, we got to learn how to say no, right? Who do we say no to? Sometimes we got to say no to our children. Sometimes we got to say no to our family. Listen, I'm a big believer in giving. I am. But you can't give all your money away. You know, I know people got good causes going on. I know this. I know people like to clothe the naked. I know people like to feed. You can't give it. You can't support everybody's event all the time. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've donated to different organizations. They call every single year. You can't give all the time, right? Sometimes you just got to learn how to say no. Why? Because you didn't put it in your budget. Remember, that's probably number 8 is making a budget for yourself and your family. Businesses have budget. Churches have budget. How come the average household doesn't have a budget? You got to live on a budget. And it's okay to say, you know what? I would love to support you, but I did not put that in my budget this week. So we got to learn how to say no sometimes, right? I know we love to help. I love to help people. I really do. But sometimes I just got to say, no, I can't do it this week. You know, I didn't fit that in my budget this week. So it's okay to say no, especially if you've donated or helped somebody out before. You can't give away all your money and expect to have a lot left over. So sometimes you just got to learn how to say no. That doesn't mean you're mean. That doesn't mean you're being selfish. But you can't help everybody every time everybody. You got 6 and 7 people asking you stuff. You can't donate to everybody's stuff all the time. Right? You just can't do it. You can't donate to everybody's campaign. You just can't. You know what I mean? Unless you just, you know, you got it like that. But it's okay to say no sometimes. Right? Remember, those organizations are not going to send you a check when you get old. Only you can do that. So in closing, you all know I don't like being no more than 10 or 15 minutes. Number 1, start saving early. Number 2, pay yourself first. Number 3, avoid irresponsible and reckless spending. Number 5, think outside the box, right? I probably got the numbers all wrong now. But anyway, the other one was, I can't even remember which number it was now. It's not what you don't know that will hurt you, but what you do know that isn't true, right? Remember, 50% in assets may not change your life, but a 50% in income will change your life. And then the final one is just learn how to say no sometimes. Hey, man, I can't do it this week. I didn't put that in my budget. Catch me another time. It's okay. All right? But anyway, since today is Financial Independence Month, I'm no longer going to say financial literacy because nobody wants to be labeled illiterate. So I'm going to take out the word literacy altogether. It's financial empowerment, financial independence. That's what resonates with people in our communities. So again, I want to thank you for your time today. And I will see you again next Tuesday. Same time, same place on my Live at 5.